General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations.
The war is over, many people exclaimed across the world as Nazi Germany finally surrendered in 1945. Celebration for the many soldiers who came back home and for those who lost their lives. But shortly after the war came the Cold War. And in Europe, a big divide called the Iron Curtain divided the Allies from the Axis. But one country was left in communism. Macedonia, formerly a part of Yugoslavia, was dominated by communism in the 1950s. Many people wanted to leave their lives in Macedonia and look for freedom from the communism they lived under. They knew the journey would be difficult, but to some, it was one worth taking. And for one man, he was able to make it to freedom, and he was able to grow life in the United States. This is the story of Steve Rusomaroff. Steve was born May 4th, 1940 in present-day Macedonia. The communism he lived under led him to flee for freedom.
Under communism, life was very bad for any young generation people. I needed freedom to come to America.
Steve left for America at 15 years old. He never once regretted leaving his old life behind for the freedom he could possibly gain. He knew that the journey wasn't going to be easy, and he fought through some hard times. And those hard times allowed his son, Stephen, to see how hard some people had it.
Well, when I was crossing the border, I was in the ditch for 3 days in the water. When I seen all these Jeeps going back and forth with lighting, looking for me and other people that was with me, I thought we was going to be dead.
Well, growing up, I don't think I appreciated it fully growing up, you know, seeing some of the stuff. I don't even think I even knew the whole story because we were always working or we were always doing something. It just never came up. Lately, it's just made me see that other people, what they go through is, and compared to what I go through, it's night and day.
The next one is when I was coming to America on the boat. I was coming on January with a very, very bad boat, quality-wise, and I didn't think we was going to make it over.
Steve found his way to America. After many hardships, he found the freedom he was waiting for. But what lied there for him was no way of communicating. But he was driven by the thought of freedom.
The language of communicating with people. The only thing drove me to be in America, my desire of being in America and free man.
After many years of not being able to communicate with the people of the United States, Steve had a breakthrough. He was able to start many businesses, with a lot of them becoming successful. And this entrepreneurship allowed his son Stephen to learn how to build his own business.
I owned many businesses since I got here. I've been a businessman since I was 18 years old. I managed and operated and owned many businesses. One is S&R Welding Incorporated.
Well, the biggest help was that he owned his own business and they owned their own business when I was growing up. Obviously, as my parents, I did a lot of work with that business. So it was just seeing how everything works, how he ran the company, how my mother did the books, and just seeing what it took or what it takes to run a business. I got firsthand experience from that. I was actually running some floor covering stuff at the age of 18. So right away, I got experience in managing people.
Steve knew of his success at the time, and so did his children. He hopes that they were able to learn from his entrepreneurship, but understands that their lives were for their own making.
My children, I feel like they learned a lot from me, but they never actually brought it out to me. They kept it to their own self. and they're all successful beyond my success.
Most of Steve's friends don't know the hardships he fought through. Most of them know him from bowling. When business was slow at one of Steve's restaurants, there was a bowling alley just across an intersection. He went there and saw people having fun, and that's exactly what brought him into the sport of bowling. And for his son Steven, he saw how enjoyable bowling was for the first time after seeing his family do it for so many years.
When I actually was slow business in the afternoon, I would go over there and see what people were doing. And I didn't understand the game, but I could see people were knocking pins down. And I said, I might like this. I might try it sometime. So that's what got me interested, because I like the sport and the people were having fun.
When I was about 15, 16 years old, I was messing around one day and Steve had a ton of bowling balls around the house. And him and I got to talking, and I picked up a bowling ball, and he took me and had it drilled for me. And then from then on, he was very supportive of anything I was doing bowling.
Steve was able to grow his bowling skills after many years of practice. He ended up in the Hall of Fame and bowling in many professional tournaments. But along the way, he was there to teach his kids.
Oh gosh, I had many perfect games. I became Hall of Famer. I had all my kids were successful in bowling, and I can't ask for anything more than that.
I mean, whenever you have somebody that has experience, it's good to pick their brain a little bit and ask them certain questions. He qualified for the US Open one year when I was young, so tagging along with him and going and meeting all those guys and seeing all the professional bowlers and all that stuff, yeah, made a huge difference.
Steve was able to create a life of his own after immigrating to the United States. And he hopes for the people who are facing the same predicaments as him fight for the opportunity that they have been given.
To take opportunity and advantage of what the country's given to us and be what you want to be, because this country offers everything.
This story serves as a reminder to never judge people and how they live their lives. You never know what people may have gone through or what they're going through. But never give up in your own fight. Always fight for what you deserve. For the Wyland High Entertainment Network, I'm Michael Park.